When a nation trembles, the first cracks appear where power is most fragile, and today's story begins right at that breaking point. A wave of tension is sweeping across the country, with streets overflowing, voices rising, and a political structure being pushed into a corner. The atmosphere is thick with urgency, and every moment feels like it could tilt the balance in an entirely new direction. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Global Plus News channel. Please subscribe and click the bell icon for your daily news updates. Today we dive deep into the escalating situation titled Lukashenko Cornered, Army Divided, Streets in Chaos, a story that has captured global attention. This moment is not just another headline, it is a collision of authority, public emotion, institutional pressure, and global scrutiny. As protests grow in size and intensity, the scenes from outside paint a portrait of uncertainty that is impossible to ignore. Large groups gather with determination, demanding change, accountability, or simply answers to long-standing frustrations. What is visible to the world is a society caught in a tug-of war between loyalty and resistance, between structure and disruption. The exterior reality shows tense confrontation points, streets blocked off and citizens standing firm despite the risks. Behind closed doors, however, the situation is even more intense, though far quieter. The interior conversations, those taking place in government offices, meeting rooms, and strategic councils, are filled with calculated discussions about stability, control, and how to navigate an increasingly volatile environment. Officials are assessing the loyalty of various branches, reviewing security responses, and determining how to deal with a population that seems more energized and united than ever. This internal pressure is shaping the tone of every public move and every official statement. Performance is becoming one of the most critical elements of this unfolding crisis. The government's ability to respond efficiently and convincingly is being tested in real time. Communication between institutions is fluctuating, sometimes appearing coordinated and at other times seemingly disjointed. The reactions of the army are being watched even more closely as reports circulate about uncertainty and hesitation within its ranks. Performance here is not just about political strength, it's about whether the entire system can withstand the growing strain. Leadership is trying to project confidence, yet the momentum of the streets suggests that the population is questioning whether the government can truly meet the expectations of a frustrated public. The government's handling of this moment may determine the direction of the country for years to come. Safety measures, meanwhile, are becoming a defining factor in how this story is unfolding. With large gatherings filling public spaces, authorities are pushing for calm and urging people to avoid confrontations. Increased patrols, barriers, and monitoring systems are being put in place in attempts to maintain order. Humanitarian groups and international observers are calling for restraint, transparency, and protection of civilians. The emphasis is on preventing escalation and avoiding the kind of violence that could push the situation into darker territory. Both sides of the divide are being reminded of the consequences of uncontrolled actions, but emotions are running high, and it becomes clear that safety precautions alone cannot fully contain the tension brewing across the country. What makes this entire situation stand out? Its unique selling points, so to speak, is the combination of internal political pressure, public resistance, and institutional uncertainty all happening simultaneously. This creates a rare and intense moment in which the future feels unpredictable. The crisis has sparked international interest because it highlights the delicate relationship between authority and society, and it shows how quickly tensions can rise when public trust begins to erode. Many nations are watching closely, not only because of geopolitical implications, but also because this moment reflects a broader global pattern where citizens are more vocal, more connected, and more willing to challenge long-standing power structures. This situation could become a turning point, marking either a shift toward reform or a reinforcement of the status quo, depending on how leadership navigates these critical days. The price of all this is substantial, and it extends far beyond financial loss. The cost is emotional, social, institutional, and national. Everyday routines are disrupted as people fear instability. Businesses slow down as uncertainty takes hold. Families feel the strain of witnessing unrest in their own neighborhoods. Public confidence in leadership and institutions weakens, creating long-term consequences that will not disappear even after the streets grow quiet again. The nation is paying a price in unity as divisions widen between supporters of the government, dissatisfied citizens, and institutions caught in the middle. Every decision made during this period carries a weight that will echo long after the chaos settles. As events continue, the tension between the public and the government intensifies. Citizens are increasingly determined to express their dissatisfaction, believing this may be their moment to bring about change. Their energy is fueled by growing frustration, strengthened by the sight of thousands standing beside them. Meanwhile, leaders are attempting to maintain grip, insisting that stability must be restored and that the current turmoil threatens national security. The tug between these forces grows stronger each day, and the nation watches with a mixture of fear and anticipation, wondering which direction the scale will tip. International reactions add another layer to the story. Foreign governments, independent observers, and global media outlets are analyzing every development. Some express concern about human rights, while others highlight the potential geopolitical consequences of a prolonged crisis. The world is watching closely but cautiously, aware that any external involvement or statement could influence the situation even further. This global spotlight adds pressure to leadership and emboldens some protesters who feel their struggle is now part of a larger narrative of political awakening. Throughout the unfolding events, what remains most significant is the emotional reality on the ground. The faces in the crowds reflect a mixture of fear, determination, frustration, and hope. Many have stepped outside their comfort zones to take part in shaping what they believe could be a defining moment in their nation's history. Parents, students, workers, and elderly citizens alike stand together in the streets, each carrying their own story of why this moment matters. As the hours pass and tensions continue to rise, one central question remains unanswered: how will this crisis end? The outcome could range from swift resolution to long-term conflict, from negotiated dialogue to intensified confrontation. Each possibility carries its own consequences, and no one can predict the exact turning point until it arrives. Leadership stands at a crossroads, the public stands united but uncertain, and institutions stand divided between loyalty and change. The road ahead is filled with unknowns. In conclusion, the situation is evolving rapidly, and the world is watching with urgency. Whether the coming days lead to reconciliation, reform, or further breakdown depends on the choices made in this fragile moment. What is certain is that the events unfolding now will shape the national landscape for years to come. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Global Plus News for more updates as this story develops.